So I did some court watching today. Let's see if I can hit the button. This thing is things are not going as planned. My robe. So this is not my court watching clothes. Watching clothes. So I'm not going to bury the lead. Nothing great happened today. That changed my perspective on whether he's guilty or not. I always start off with a strong, robust, not guilty, not guilty. And I bring my notebook. Before I go in there, I take, I look up stuff. So I have not guilty, not guilty before I go in. I am not guilty, motherfucker. Not guilty. So my not guilty book day. Things just like happen to just pop out. Observations. The court. I mean, it is such an easy job. I mean, it may not be easy at all times, but from a perspective, when they make it look easy, oh, they make it look easy. The court officers in this county, it's sheriff's deputies make it look easy. And observation number one. So the first, so I go in and I'm turning my phone off. Right? So I'm sitting there like this. I'm like, off. How do you turn this thing off? Because this thing's never off. It's like always on. On. All the time. It's always on. But I turned the volume down. I'm like, how do I turn it off so I make sure that it's not on? So I'm sitting there like okay, I'm about to put it in my pocket. By the way, this is my robe. This is my court apparel. Court drobe. court my court drobe. Yeah, so I got my dark jeans. It's 20 something degrees here. It's cold. And but so um, you drive there and you're in your warm car. And then you have to get out and walk about a quarter mile. So what is a quarter mile? 1,000 yards. So 3 football fields plus little more than 3 football fields. So 10 football fields. Yeah. But oh my god! All right, so I'm doing observations. When you pull in, first off, pull in to the court area. There's a nice, big, nice parking lot. It's like right there. It's like, oh, there's this nice parking lot. And then you look up, you see the court, and there's an old courthouse. And you pull in, and it's like, oh. And you look over, all the cops. All the cops are there. They're all in the nice parking lot. They can come and go as they please and whatever. It's like they just go right in. It's like boom, and then they can walk up to the courthouse. They don't have to walk far at all. I mean, it's like I'm right there. So the first parking lot that you come to, very nice. It's open, and you look around, and it's like, oh, this is a great parking lot. Hey, Victimone. This is where you want to be. But no, you can't park there. So then you pull out of that parking lot after you realize you can't park there. And then you go to the next parking garage. There's a parking garage right there. But you can't park there. You drive over there and they say, turn around. You can't park here. So then you have to leave the whole place. You have to go back out on the road, and then you have to come back down. It's like Rain Man, right? You have to go back out. You got to turn left. You got to turn left again, and then you come back down. You're looking at the parking lot on the right, and you're like, that's a nice parking lot. And then you look at the parking. It's a garage on the left. I'm like, oh, that's a nice parking lot. I want to park there, but you can't park there. And then you go down to this large, huge parking garage. I mean, it's multi stories. You're gonna get a nosebleed if you go up on top. If you go up on top, oh my god! But all right. So on this day, today, what day is it? So it was the 15th. I pull in, and there was somebody pulling out of the very first parking spot on the left. Like, okay, I'll take that spot. And you know how people shark? You know what sharking is. When you're looking around for a big parking spot that's like closest to the place. I didn't have to shark. I pulled in. I grabbed the card. I got it in my pocket somewhere. I got a receipt at least. I think when I put it in there after I left, they took it. But I got a receipt. I have a receipt. Maybe I'll pull it out of here in a little while. You don't want me to pull out my receipt, do you? Anyway, but there's no signs everywhere say no, no. Every single sign says no. No this, no this, no that, no, 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 no. No walking, no jaywalking, no smoking, no eating, no drinking, no apples. Ain't no apple for you. Oh my God, no apple. But on this particular day, in this particular moment, I got in there and I got the best spot in the house. About it. So I get in there and you can't just you can't just pull in. So I look around. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna back in. And I forgot about some of the things that I actually had in my pockets, car. So I'm there acting all suspicious, taking all the stuff out of my pockets and pushing stuff in my, and I had a blanket in my car because it's 20 degrees something out there. So I cover everything up, and it's not my car. It's a car that I'm not used to. And I hit the button. It's in my pocket. The thing goes as I'm about the thing is not my car, but there's cameras there. I'm like, yeah, there's cameras everywhere, like all the cameras. But I'm thinking to myself, yeah, there's cameras everywhere, but in all the crimes I've seen with cameras everywhere, they don't check the cameras. Nobody's looking at the cameras. Where's the cameras? And so I take my notebook and start walking in 1,000 yards. You know, the 1,000 yard stare. It's 1,000 yards, and it's all uphill. And I'm thinking to myself, the whole 1,000 yard way. I'm like, what do I have in my pockets? I'm gonna have to go through security. I have to go into a courthouse. What did I forget? Right? And then I'm thinking, I got pencils and pens and crayons. I don't have crayons, but I do have pencils and pens, and I got metal. I got all kinds of metal. And so I'm like, what did I forget? Am I forgetting something? But I get in there, and there's a lot of people, and they're all going in, go through security check, and somebody held the door open for me. So there's two doors. The first door, somebody held that open for me. Second door, polite thing to do. The door is open for me. I go pull the second door open, and I wait. I wait for the people who just opened the door for me, and then there's preteen, so some older people, grandmother, father, and I say, "Good day to you, sir. Good day, hello, good day," and I'm standing there holding the door, and I'm only one person, and I open the door for a whole family. Right before you go into a security check. So I'm standing there holding the door. I got there an hour early, so I'm not concerned. I made sure that I got there well before ahead of time. I'm not concerned. So I'm going to hold the door for the family. So I get through security fairly well. I'm wearing my suspenders, which has a lot of metal on it. And I had to pull out my notebook and put it in the tray, and I had to take my jacket off. This whole I had to take everything off. I mean, I was like, all right, so are you gonna do? Are you gonna ask me to bend over? But no, I got to keep my vest on. Take all my leather off. I got to keep my jeans on. My jeans stayed nice and dry. I was gonna tell them these jeans, they're 527s. These were made in the good old USA. 527s. Yeah, they were made here about 2012, 2013. They were made in the USA. And they wanted to know. I was going to tell them, but they didn't ask. But no, I don't wear ligatures. I don't wear a belt. I got suspenders. Speaking of suspenders, got a lot of metal in my suspenders. So security asked me to come over. Oh my God. Hit the button again. So, my suspenders. I'm going to do this for display purposes only. This is not to keep my pants up. I'm wearing sweatpants. But yeah. Kind of looks like I'm strapped. And there's a lot of metal on my suspenders. He wants to wave his wand around me. And he took his wand and he waved his wand all around. I got all wanded up, and I knew it was going to happen. People ask when you go into court and you look fishy, you're gonna get wanded. I don't mind, and I knew it was coming, so I don't mind one bit. He's just doing his job. I get through security, and they're like, "Kid, you know where you're going?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know where I'm going. I'm going to 5J." Look, a little side eye. Oh my God. So I didn't know I was going to Judge Penny, but I kind of knew I was going to Judge Penny. But I didn't know like Judge Penny was going to be menacing as she is. But they knew I knew where I was going. You had to go walk down the hall, go down the whole building. I mean, it's a huge building. I mean, it's big. So just to walk up there, 1,000 yards. Then you got to get in the elevator or take the stairs. I decided for the elevator to go up. I had already walked up 1,000 yards. Up a hill. I opted for the elevator. So I found the elevator. I found out where the bathrooms were. Find out where the bathrooms are. And you got to check any routes out. I found the routes out in case need be, in case of emergency. Routes out. Because sometimes they change. Sometimes the things on construction. Of course, I had already put my notebook and my leather back on. Oh, this piece of leather. I wanted to know what I was doing. All my pens and pencils. And I was actually more concerned about this piece of leather. Oh, I got a pencil sharpener. I mean, there's a razor blade in there. I'm like, you're worried about my suspenders, but you're not worried about a razor blade? Take that apart. Go sideways. And of course, I've got things. I've got my monocle. Worried about my chain. My monocle. I went through the X-ray. Worried about that one bit. You know, the guy needs a little bit of help seeing things. He's got it on the chain. Chain's a little bit bigger. They weren't worried about my watch. I got my watch. I got to keep time. I mean, because you got to turn your phone off. The phone is how people keep time. Right? It's a little after 4 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock. 4:04. About that one bit. Because it went through the X-ray machine and all. So I'm walking around. I got my notebook. I'm looking for 5J. 5J. And of course, my little notebook, it's got useful information. So I wrote down all my useful information. This is where I'm going. I got my directions. In case I forget. I can forget stuff. In a big situation like that, I walk 1,000 yards and then I have to go find an elevator and get up to 5J. I gotta find Judge Penny, and I'm looking for the Banfield docket. So I'm like, all right, where I am, looking for, and it struck me as a little bit curious that on the docket, it's FE 2024 quadruple zero triple six. Yeah, triple six. Where am I going? I'm going to check out triple six, and then I'm like, all right. So, but it's a criminal trial in the circuit court. And so I get there. I get to the court room place. And there's a couple double doors. Doors here. Walk down a little bit. Double doors there. It's an L. It's an L to get in there. So down the hallway. Doors. And I walk up to the doors. There's a post on the doors. A printout. Like, sort of taped something on the doors. I didn't even read it. I don't remember what it is to tell you what it was. And I still have my phone on me. Most of the time, they say you can't bring your phone into the thing. You can't even bring your phone into the thing. I still have my phone on me. I even asked a couple people. I was like, "You got your phone?" And then I started to look around. I was like, "Oh, you got your phone?" And I'm not gonna check my phone, making sure my phone is off. I didn't want to be rude or nothing. And so about 9:30, so half hour. It took me a half hour to park get to get to be able to where I was actually able to get into the room. And I'm thinking, are they gonna let me into the room? Is this gonna be a closed session? Nobody seemed to care. Nobody seemed to mind. I'm just sitting there. A couple people are sitting over there and they're talking. Oh my God, people are over there, they're talking. So that's when I start drawing. I drew some stuff. So as I draw, make my observations. And it was bright outside. It was cold. Inside, it was warm. That was my big observation. It was warm. So what I did, these black and whites, the composition notebooks, took my colored pens out, magic markers. I'm colorblind, so I can't tell how great that is, or if it's terrible, or whatever. But that's what I was doing, listening, drawing. About a half hour. Oh, 5J docket FE 2024 quadruple 0873 Fairfax County Circuit Court. So I'm sitting there drawing, listening, and so finally I see people going in. Oh, the jury's right behind me, by the way. They got a jury room. They're right behind me. People are walking in, walking out. I'm looking at people's shoes. People don't stink there either. There's no bad smells. I'll tell you that. I didn't smell anything bad. I got a big nose. Big. I didn't smell a thing that was bad. Nobody was overpowering with their stench at all, good or bad. So, all right, because if there's a stink, my eyes will water up. Sneezing, if I start sneezing, not a good thing. My eyes water up, that's not a good thing either. I got to get the hell out of there. I didn't have to get the hell out of there. Everything was calm. Like I said, I did not bury the lead. This was a very, very boring day. Boring. Okay? Very boring. I've been in some court where things can, rile up and things like that. This is the most boring I think I've ever been to. And of course, I am not guilty. I'm always nobody's guilty until you prove it to me. And they didn't move the needle either way today. So, all right. Who did they bring in? By the way, I can't read my notes. I make notes so nobody can read them. I can't even read them. I'm just using these to refresh my memory. Yeah. It was boring, 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 boring. But okay, the judge came in. Boom. Let's go. 10 o'clock. The schedule was at 10 o'clock. Judge was there. 10 o'clock. Lawyers were there. 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. Everybody was there. 10 o'clock. It was like boom, 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 boom. Oh man, I was like, what? This is awesome. All right, there's no delays, but one thing I do have to say about the judge, she's a little on the Commonwealth side, not on the defendant side at all. But nobody had. I mean, there was what, two objections all day long. Nobody was objecting. There was no objection. Oh, so I sat next to and behind. So I was on. I was sitting in the gallery, and not the gallery though. What do you call it? I wrote down the pews. So the judge is here. The Commonwealth and defense are here, and then the first two rows were empty. All right, you want to see the all right? So I drew the rows. I did draw also. I drew the bench. That somewhere in here. No objections by 11. No objections. Oh, where did I draw the bench? So yeah, class schedule. I'm not organized, by the way. Where did I draw the bench? Hmm. So I wrote down the timeline. Ah, there it is. So, all right. I mean, it's a pretty nice bench. I don't. I didn't do it justice, but but the the part of the issue. So there's um, four monitors they show evidence on, and there was one side of the courtroom had the sun coming in like all day, and there was two that were on the other side of the room that I could actually see. And while they were showing evidence, I took note of what the sun glare looked like. It was actually beautiful. Uh, Oh, there's your sun glare. From my perspective, that's the bench and the sun glare. Everybody in front of me. All right. I did keep writing down sharp. Everybody was sharp. Oh yeah. So uh, so not rude. All right, not rude. Because of the sun glare, person was doing this, and I was fine. I was fine. And I was like, but there's a row behind me. It's completely empty, and I'm like, do I just step over the row? do I just step? Do I just and then, but I mean, I'm like, just step over the row and go back a row, so the person in front of me can move back. But all right, so here's how the rows looked. That's everybody kind of in front of me. So was it 17, about 17 people on the side of the aisle I was sitting in, and so the lady cop who's in charge of the whole shebang, before the judge came in, let us all know: do not bring your cell phone out of your pocket, or do not have a cell phone out. Nobody said no recording. I mean, My guess is I probably could have just left my cell phone on recording the whole thing, but I didn't even want to try. Don't try. Right? It's like, yeah, just I'm I'm more and because of the way my hearing is, I was watching the people. It was almost like a tennis match. Once they started putting all the evidence up on the monitors, the courtroom was like this. On this side, on that side, the courtroom was like this. I mean, I took a look. I looked. I looked. I got my glimpse of whatever they were showing. Bloody pants and bloody floors and things like that. Oh my god. Oh, blood. The blood. Hmm. Yep. Hmm. It's hard watching people that don't. I'm jaded. No, that's not my name. I'm not. My name is not jaded, but I am jaded. I've seen a lot of blood. I've seen a lot of injuries. I've seen a lot of death, things like that. I've seen a lot. That's how I can do things like that. Well, we talk about blood and gore and things like that, but it's hard, difficult when you see people who are not jaded in person. Because I mean, when you watch stuff online or on TV shows and things like that, it's like, oh, it seems to escape one part of your brain. It seems to escape one part of your brain that goes to your heart, right? But when you're in person and you see them comprehend the, the reality, what could have gone into um, the everything. I mean, the shaking, the nervousness, the nervous ticks. Yeah, like the hand and the feet. Oh my god! Because people with like a duck above water. People, some people will duck above water, but their legs are moving down below, and their whole body. So right now, like, it's so hard to watch that happen. So yeah, I saw the I'm gonna go. Oh, Joe Ryan. In all this, Joe Ryan is the least talked about. All right, Joe Ryan lost his life. Not just Christine, but Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan. Don't forget about Joe Ryan. Now, I made a few notes. I'm the worst. I'm the worst people watcher ever. Okay. I'm actually very, I'm a people watcher. Oh, how long is this? 5 minutes.